How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we will be joined with 3 of our players today. Unfortunately, Cole is unable to attend, but Belbin Connor will be joining us probably in about 40-ish minutes. We'll take a quick break when that does happen so he can join in on the fun, but for now, we have both Max and Dane with us, and we're currently progressing through this crazy campaign as they
By the way, Kyle, quick thing, we're session 47, not 46.
57?
57.
Does anybody know what session it is?
57.
Boom. 57. Stream info updated successfully. All right, cool.
Great.
Heck yeah. Let's go ahead and do quick introductions for the characters that we do have and go into a little bit of some very quick story. I will say I apologize for us being a little bit late. We were doing the 3 of us sitting down, big update on character sheets. And so it's been a long time coming. These changes needed to happen. And now that we have most of us together, this was the time to do it. And so we had to
And
get
we're all nerfed. All of us are.
balance.
Actually, Zill did not change that much. I think I lost 1 DV.
Zill
And
was the
that
most
was it.
balanced.
Well, do you get pushed back? How's your endurance?
Actually, funny enough, Zill got buffed.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
kind of like that.
Okay, his endurance is only 2. It's okay.
All of our endurance except for like Solly is gonna be ridiculous.
Only. But, my throwing axes now don't have a worse throwing. So they got a +1 to their throw hit.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
He's got more ranged power.
Hey, Yuki does too.
Yeah,
Which is nice.
Zill did change, but only very, very minorly.
One of the, I guess a little behind the scenes, one of the things that we did change, big thing that we changed from the character sheets, well, a couple of them, were we got rid of the hit stat altogether, and now weapons are tied to specific skills, which kind of makes more sense and kind of gives a little bit of more variation from just a whole separate stat that has those things. That also is part of what contributed to the very high hits and like that kind of stuff. So there's that. We moved a couple of the stats around. So from physical, or from the strength stat, the elemental went to the mind score, wisdom went to the faith score, and then a new score was introduced, which is endurance, and that's basically used for basically avoiding points of like weariness and like travel and like that kind of stuff. And then also it's used in like after combat, each combat round, players have to make a positioning roll to like move each other back, and the elemental got replaced with that. And so a lot of people didn't have a lot of points into elemental, but now everyone's going to be moved around quite a bit probably. So,
And we're all gonna get real weary on the road.
Yep.
We're used to a life of luxury on the Lamnia's breath.
So actually, right
Yeah.
now that endurance probably doesn't matter all that much, right? For you guys, because you guys are on a ship, on a vehicle, so that's helpful. But
We're trudging through the woods again ever.
yeah, there was a lot of that, and then just like a lot of cleanup and clarification on stat sheets and everything. So again, sorry for the late start, but it was very important stuff that had to get done, and these are like the times that we can all be together. So thank you for your patience. With that being the case, let's go ahead and jump to character introductions, starting with Zil.
Hello, my name is Zil. I'm also the rule nerd of the group because I'm currently doing a lot of edits on Luxalia's character sheet because I like rules more than Cole does. Which is not saying much because
Yeah,
who
there's probably
likes
few people who. I'm kind of like in your boat, but as far as extending it to other people's character sheets, I'm kind of like.
I once was playing D&D with somebody and teaching that, and they were mad the game didn't work the way they wanted to, and I'm like, dude, I've literally read the entire DMG and Player's Handbook. Like, no. When you've read the whole thing,
You mentioned that, Max. You actually say that at one of our events that we had a couple weeks ago, there was one guy on his FAQ sheet who basically his criticism of the game, he's like, it doesn't play like Magic the Gathering. I'm like, well, no, duh. It's not Magic the Gathering. He's like, it was a really fun game, but I was so confused because it's not Magic the Gathering. I'm like, well, okay. That just reminded me of what you said there.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. So if I seem distracted, it's because I am tweaking character sheets and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
It's good.
But I'm not introducing myself. I'm supposed to be introducing Zil. Zil is the tank of the group, the orphan of Helix, the future Refinium prospector, because that's easier than adventuring, apparently. The blacksmith extraordinaire, the teapot of madness, and Waffle House. Did I forget one?
Yeah, Jin Woo Sung is what you're gonna be. He's real good at mining things. He's overpowered.
So we're just gonna
That
be...
is a reference that went right over my head. I have no idea.
Yeah, no clue.
It's a solo leveling reference. Sorry.
But he is a hoot. He is naive. He is very defensive and very proud of the noble quest that we are on, and isn't afraid to share that. And he gets hit a lot, often. Yes.
It's a good thing he's thick.
He is very thick. And he has reclaimed his rightful place of most DV of the party.
Who had it before?
It was
Belbin!
Really?
Belbin was sitting at
Really?
19. He was sitting at 19. And now
What's
he's
he
down
now?
to 13. Again, more changes that happen. So his DV's 13, and I think his like RV's like 11 or something. So definitely not the squishiest, but I think the order of squish goes Zil as the thickest, and then Yuki, and then especially because Yuki has the skill that you can use to add your charm to your.
Yeah. Is it
DV.
capped at 16 still, or is it?
No, it's not capped at 16.
Oh, so she could have a lot.
Yeah, she can have potentially a lot. And then it goes down to Luxalia and Belbin are basically the same, but their stats are swapped. So Luxalia has better RV, and Belbin has better DV. And then Thordain. Thordain is by a little bit, little weak, but that's
He actually, technically, his DV went up.
Yeah.
Technically, it was 9. Now it's what, 10, 11, and now his RV's 9. So he's a little thicker physically than he used to be. So
it's the way that the cookie crumbles. But anyways, yes, he is. Zil is thick with 2 C's. Do you have anything else to add to Zil before we move on?
To Zil, no, but I'm reading one of Luxalia's new abilities, and it's freaking crazy.
wonder if Cole knows that she has it.
No. But anyways, Luxalia. Luxalia is a Silverwood Glyphon all the way from the far eastern town of Silverwood. So if we're looking on the map, like right here. Oh, yeah. And she is a shrine maiden of Amaterasu. And so she has dedicated her entire life to the study of Alumnia and is now adventuring with this party as trying to at least keep Belbin in check, but kind of as like a light in the darkness. But she is a mana sworn, so she is specifically uses kind of like mana in the spirit of Alumnia for basically healing, primarily healing, but healing and all kinds of support / attacky type of abilities. Think of her as like the party wizard. That's what Luxalia is. Oh, and she's got to pass that. She's got to pass that she always brings up that she never goes into more detail about. So she's got a past. We just got to know that.
It's good.
Yuki.
Yeah, she's got a banger song that plays in the Silverwood too when she's living there. It's just on repeat in the South Shroud, and it's nice. Anyways, Yuki. Hi everyone, I'm Dane, or Forge Chair at Fantasy Forge Studios. I play the character Mistletoe Yuki. She is a silver draken from the city of Flamongolith, as pictured behind me. Flamongolith. And she comes from a family of musical instrument makers. And what else? She's pretty good. She's a bard class. However, she's the DP physical DPS bard class. So she has some supporty stuff that she does, but she's very charismatic and has a high strength stat, being a draken. And she is a blade dancer, which is really cool. Blade dancer, sword dancer, blade dancer. And she is sick. She does a lot of damage. Her DV in RV went down a little bit, but she still hits like a truck, and her hit modifier is still pretty high. So she'll still be doing a lot. She might be getting pushed back a lot more in battle than she used to. But yeah, she's also kind of on a journey to learn more about Alamnia and his ways. And so we'll see if she gets the opportunity to talk with Luxalia more. I feel like she hasn't had the opportunity to do that much. But she's trying to work with Belbin right now as much as she can on that. So it's good.
Because Connor won't be here to introduce Belbin, I'm going to go ahead and do it for him. Belbin is the crotchety old man of the group, even though technically he's not the oldest in the group. He is the most crotchety, that's for sure. He is a Glyvan from the Roku Horde, way up here, and he also does have a past that is tied to Shada, which those who are familiar with the Everlast TCG that just launched, Shada is actually the EX battle deck, well, one of them, the Master Assassin, and so he's got direct connections with a card from the Everlast TCG, so that's cool. But he is a oblate class, and so he is a martial artist, so he has lots of attacks that he can unleash at close combat, and so that's what he does to just punch the heck out of people. And he is quick, and he's got very good awareness, kind of in his surroundings and whatnot, and so he's very stealthy as well, but he also is very prone to trouble. And so he definitely does that more than I think anybody else does, is he just causes trouble. And right here in River City, and it's not what the party is about. And so, with that being the case, the group is trying their best to try to keep him from falling too far into despair, as he's definitely in vice, and his points of misery are getting down to going crazy. So it's a good thing that Yuki's trying to help him, because he needs it.
He lost some points last session too, didn't he?
I think
he
he
did.
gained
I don't.
back.
No. I remember specifically there was a thing that he failed and he gained more points of misery.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, Belbin,
Yeah.
you're the person who doesn't need it. Oh my gosh. You want to hear something crazy though?
I love crazy.
Yuki is maxed out in her virtue. She is as maxed as she could be. So right now she's feeling good.
She's feeling good. That's why she's feeling the urge right
Yeah,
now.
she's feeling Alamnia in her veins.
And Belbin just yearns for the urn. Sorry. He's got swords whispered sweet nothings in his ear. Oh yeah, that's another thing. He stole Thordane's sword, and Thordane's okay with it. Speaking of which, we have Thordane, who is our last character, who is kind of the DMPC of the party, and he is an elf from the Woodland Realm, so down here. But they all met in the Subterran and all that good stuff. But he is the captain of Alamnia's Breath. He is pretty much the guide of the party, and he is a ranger, specifically a tracker. So he has all kinds of cool like hunting arrows that he can use, hunting traps. He's great with herb lore, and so he has the ability to maximize healing potency on herbal remedies and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's super cool, and he's a man of science, or an elf of science. He's a man, but a man of science, and Yeah, he is currently giving up his cabin to a the guy that they found wandering or strewn on the ocean, Horatius. So that's cool. He's very generous. He's a philanthropist, as Yuki likes to put it. Actually, more as Dane likes to put it. He's a philanthropist with his money. And yeah, he's a WrestleMania champ
Calvinish's
2 times
money.
over. Yeah, Calvinish's money too.
But
That's
she's
true.
pissed that she no longer has her connection to her money.
Exactly. She has a connection to a new person, but
Yeah.
to the money.
Melvin's got a small fortune though, so that's good.
Belbin does, and so she's growing attached to that. But yeah, so that's Thordane. And I am Kyle. I am the Fate Weaver, the creator of this world of Everlast, and very excited to be able to jump into part 57 of the Adventures of Eclaas. We are currently sailing through the sea in order to meet with the Council of the Keys. But before that, just a real quick thing. Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte own all copyrights in the text, images, video, audio, graphics, story, gameplay, mechanics, and all intellectual properties involved in the creation of Everlast. Don't take it and sell it for yourself, but feel free to use it for your own homebrew. This is a world that we will bring out to you at some point here in hopefully the near future for you to be able to play on your own tabletops. Right now, you can check out the Everlast TCG and start collecting cards as far as like other NPCs and actual cards of Eclaas for those who backed the Kickstarter as well. There's also box topper Eclaas cards and Heroes of the West boxes that will be coming to pre-order pretty soon. And then yeah, so it'll be really cool. But this world is definitely a world of my creation that has been growing for about the past 10 years, and with all like the balancing gameplay mechanics and everything, this group has helped playtest a lot of that, and so that's why you see a lot of changes and stuff happening as we get closer to the official writing and completion of the Tabletop RPG. But aside from that, a little bit of a recap of the story thus far, unless anybody has anything to add.
No,
Sweet.
we're good.
So Eclaas, they are a group of adventurers. They are sent out into the Great Peninsula for primarily vacation to begin with at Takai Town. However, since the events of arriving at Takai Town, they have realized that there is demonic activity at foot. They destroyed a giant earth elemental and a cultist that was down at Terror Bay Island at the Earth Pillar, and they became the holders of the Earth Key and guardians of the Earth Pillar. There are 4 elemental pillars in the Inland Sea or not the Inland Sea, the Inland Strait of Everlast, and they are the Earth Pillar, which again, Eclaas is the protectors of that. The Flame Pillar, which King Nalgoric Cragheim of the Draken of Flomberge, he is the holder of the Flame Key. King Farrand of the Feshen Fey Elves is the keeper of the Sea Key, where Zil is located here. And the last one is Aldreg Monteblair, who is the keeper of the Sky Key, who used to reside at Skyspire Island, but they had gone on an entire adventure to track him down and the Keepers of the Keys to have a Council of the Keys, which they were all the way up at Fulden Rock, finding him there. But currently they are en route back to Flomberge to have this council. And on their journeys thus far, they have defeated cultists, they've encountered Azael Doom, a terror of the deep. They have discovered that a pirate by the name of Jackman Nobbs is out and has pretty much taken over the Skyspire Island, and potentially is possessed by a demon, just as Thavalia was possessed, who was a basically an explorer kind of researcher from Feshen Fey, which they saved at Fulden Rock from being possessed by a demon. And there's a lot of demonic activity at foot, and they all seem to, in one degree or another, be targeting the elemental pillars. And with that being the case, the Council of the Keys is being summoned to be able to discuss further plans and what to do with that. But they are currently at Eclaas on their ship Lamnia's Breath, transporting Aldreg Monteblair to Aishen Island to meet at Flomberge for these keys. But on their journey, they came upon a note about a mysterious mist, a fog that seems to roam the waters, and a spectral ship that follows in tow, in which destroyed a ship which they came across the remnants of Eclaas, and they picked up a survivor by the name of Horatius. And for those who missed last session, it was a banger. I mean, every episode's a banger, right? But it was good, and that's where the party got to meet Horatius and kind of a little bit of what he is about. They discovered that he is a elf of the Veildune, and he is very old as a elf. So elves in Everlast are not immortal, but they do have very long lives comparatively to the rest of the mortal creatures in Everlast. And he has been around the block. He even mentioned that he has visited places like the Silverwood before and whatnot. And so he is currently en route with them to Aishen Island as well, as he is currently on his end-of-life travel missions, as he kind of put it, to visit Aishen Island and to kind of find new purpose in his life. But he does seem relatively all-knowing, and everybody's sketched by him. And so we'll see.
Nobody trusts him.
Nobody trusts him. And so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But that was where we left off. He kind of had a chance to meet everybody in the party to varying degrees of suspicion and not. Belbin seems to really like him. And yeah, so that's maybe not great, but
I think everyone has had a good impression of him. And I think it's just us as players that are sketched by him.
that's true. That's a good point.
Oh,
But anyways, with that being the case, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to my party as I guess kind of setting up the scene. It's still the day after you had picked up Horatius, and Belbin and Yuki just leave the captain's chambers, leaving him to his rest. As he said that that's what he will be doing, is resting for the meantime. But he does also want to meet the rest of the crew. It was mentioned that Bree was someone to talk to, and so he wants to have a conversation with Bree as well. And yeah, with that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Yuki.
yeah. Yuki turns to Belbin and says, "Well, that was quite peculiar. You don't typically get along with anyone. Are you feeling okay?"
Well, he seems to know who I was. That's all that matters to me. It seems my name is getting out there, far and wide.
I didn't even mention that you had bowled the 300. I was joking about that.
That does seem rather odd, Belbin admits, as he still kind of has like a small smile, kind of like smirky smile on his face, and he says, hopefully the next town we go to, there's a bowling alley, so I can actually show him what a real 300 looks like.
I mean, he seems nice enough. It's strange how much he knows. I know he mentioned that he was old. It's just odd.
Belbin kind of shrugs his shoulders, and he says, there are many strange things in my time that I've experienced, kind of wandering and doing the things that I've done. There's not a lot that surprises me these days. Especially with elves. I don't really understand the way that elves work. Thordane, he's kind of, well, you could read him like a book.
That's true. He is a philanthropist after all. And I guess Yuki will walk down, and I don't know what Belbin intends on doing, but she'll escort him back, I guess, to his room where he was just chilling, and she'll go and get Bree to go and see Horatius.
You do find Bree. She is up on deck. Currently, she seems to actually be taking a break and enjoying herself. She's keeping an eye over generally like what's going on like on the deck of the ships and what everybody's doing. But she actually seems to be kind of enjoying this nice day of sea travel.
Nice. Yuki will approach her and say, "Hey, Bree, glad you're having the opportunity to relax a little bit. Have you met our new guest on the ship yet, Horatius?"
No, I have not had the opportunity to meet him, but from what I've heard, he went through it quite a bit, hasn't he? But I saw that many people, including our new Tinkerer, as she points over to Aldreg back at the front by the cannon with Kokoro. But she continues and she says, seems that many of the owners of the ship have. What are your first impressions of him? I'm always weary of guests upon the ship, especially those that arrive in such mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, he's an elf and he's very old, and so he seems very well adjusted to the world. He seems to know the mannerisms of the time and place. So proper, I guess. I don't really know what to think about him, but he seems harmless enough. But he actually mentioned he would like to talk to you. In particular, remind me again. What was the reason he wanted to see Bree?
Because you guys brought her up.
Oh, that's right. He seems very interested in meeting everyone in the crew. So if you get the opportunity, I'm sure he would love to meet you.
Bree nods and she says, before anything, people have a way of putting up facades and appearances for those. I'm sure he is grateful for us for saving his life. But what do you know of him? What are your impressions?
Well, every time someone goes into his room, he takes off his boots and then he puts them back on and offers water to them as soon as they come into the place.
He's got habits.
Like it's clockwork. Yeah, like it's clockwork. No, I mean, he seems to know a lot. He seemed to know stuff about Belbin that no one had mentioned about him. And he
she kind
seems
of
very...
tilts her head and says, what about him? He seems rather mysterious to me. I haven't had much of an opportunity to have conversation with him. If anything, I feel like people on the ship tend to avoid him.
Who, Belbin? Yeah. Well, he's a well-kept guy, I guess. He's trying to think of the proper words to describe Belbin. But says, either way, that's neither here nor there. He had heard that Belbin had bowled a 300, which, how did that news get out there, I wonder, so quickly? Is he clairvoyant?
And Bree says, well, that is curious. I've never actually heard of bowling until we were in Folden Rock, so even if the news did go out there, I have no idea how someone would see that as something being impressive or not.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. I mean, I've tried to check into his character while he was talking to Belbin, and again, like I said, he seems harmless enough. But maybe when we get to Flomberge, we can have a meet King Nagor Cragheim. He seems to have some questions for him at the very least.
Bree nods and she agrees, and she says, I'm sure I will go ahead and at some point here soon introduce myself to our guest Eclaas, and if he can be any use. There are a lot of, and she looks around, a lot of things that need to get done. It's in particularly experienced hands. He seems to be on the ocean, and the fact that he survived whatever had happened out there shows that he has some sea legs, of course. If he can at least be useful until we can either let him go at port or while he is here, I could use another set of hands. And she kind of taps down to Martha, her whip, and says, and hopefully he doesn't need to feel the wrath of Martha in the process. She kind of like smirks and laughs.
I think he wants to meet Martha. Belbin mentioned Martha, actually, during the meeting. He seems to like Martha quite a bit. Why? I'm not quite sure. It's a bit odd, but...
Well, perhaps Belbin would like to meet Martha formally at some point.
Yuki doesn't know how to respond to that. Well, he lets her know, or Yuki lets her know, and sees if he can find, or if she can find Zil or Luxalia on board.
Yeah, you easily are doing so. Zil, where are you at this moment? So it probably about an hour-ish has passed since you have left the your conversation speaking with Horatius. But yeah, what are you doing at this moment, Zil?
About what time of day is it?
It is definitely marching into kind of the mid to late afternoon at this point.
Where's Aldrich?
He's at the front of the ship.
He's working on
stuff.
or doing stuff with the Glyphics cannon.
I'll be there with him.
Okay.
Just trying to learn about the cannons.
And
I'm very intrigued by Glyphics.
And as he begins to explain kind of how things work, it's interesting because there are a lot of terms that he is using that are quite technological, and probably soar above your head. Actually, I'm gonna have you make a knowledge skill check for me.
First roll. Knowledge. I believe in you.
15.
15. After a few days on sea and having the opportunity to help him as far as like crafting parts and whatnot for the Glyphex, you can kind of start a little bit building a picture in your head of kind of the functionality of this works and generally how it speaks, but the mystery still remains, how kind of like the spiritual energy of the mana is really involved in this. But technologically, you're starting to kind of understand it to a degree. And so it doesn't actually go over your head, as I had previously mentioned. This is actually stuff that is kind of fascinating to you, especially learning how to use the cannon and like the functionality of it, and kind of like the importance of like making sure you're keeping charges and stuff, and how those charges work and how like the electric mana energy is transferred from the cartridges into the cannon and how it creates the essentially the electric mana ball that it fires. It's quite fascinating stuff.
Interesting.
And at this point, Yuki approaches.
Oh, Zil! It seems that you're helping Aldrich. Hopefully all is going well. This Glyphex stuff still confuses me quite a bit.
Yes, indeed. This is a quick learner that I have here. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody, or at least I can have an intellectual conversation with somebody about this. He seems quite interested indeed.
It's still somewhat confusing, but I think I'm starting to understand. Maybe.
Well, speaking of which, Zil, I heard that you had an opportunity to speak with our guest Horatius in the room, and I know that when I was meeting with him, you were there, pointing to Aldreg, and he seemed very, very curious about your Glyphex machinery. However, I know we had promised as well to keep it as hush-hush as possible. I will say, from what I've learned about Horatius, he's very perceptive. He seems trustworthy enough, but I get the feeling we should still continue to keep your purpose here secret from him.
I would
Which
agree
might prove to be a
completely.
challenge.
We don't know exactly who this individual is. He does seem gracious enough. But yes, as far as the technologies of my Glyphex creation, outside of myself, you are the only ones that know about this, and I wish to keep it that way.
Speaking of which, Zil, what was your impression that you had of him?
I don't know. There's something weird.
Yeah, he seems to know a lot. He knew about Belbin's 300 bowling records somehow.
Do we even know? Okay, I don't know much if it's not in Helix. And there was no bowling in Helix. Was there bowling anywhere else?
I don't know. That's what it seems strange to me, because I'd never heard of it either until it came to Folded Rock.
Huh.
But he seems to have been around a while. Based off of talking to him, he seems to be ages old at this point. He says he's pretty much visited everywhere in the realm of in Everlast, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's come across bowling. My biggest question is how he knew that Belbin bowled that. That only happened a couple days or a week ago or so.
At this point, Kokoro, she jumps in and says, "To put light into the situation," and then she goes, "Boop, boop, boop, boop," and then she goes into a Luxalia voice, and she says,
Oh, nice.
"Bowling was invented in 241," and she goes in 241 of the Third Age, and she goes and talks specifically about where it was created, and it was actually created in the Grandium Empire, but it was a game that itself didn't catch a lot of popularity until basically it became like a sailor's game, and it wasn't played in a traditional bowling alley, but it was played on like the docks, and so the lanes were like the dock, and then they would have like a bunch of like crates and stuff at the end, and they would use cannonballs, or not cannonballs, but like lead balls to knock things over. It has become simplified over time, and she kind of finishes her point. It has settled in Folden Rock as one of the main pastimes at night.
Good to know. Do we get any benefits and bonuses for learning about that?
Well, it's not a brand new game from what you learn. It's been around for a couple hundred years, and so
Gotcha.
What year are we in?
Currently, you're in the year 658 of
100 years.
the Third Age.
There you go. There you go. Well, Yuki's like, well, thank you, Kokoto. That's very interesting knowledge. I guess that makes sense why Belbin knows it. He's ancient and seems to be an ancient sport, so.
Did you say 648 or 638?
58.
50 or neither?
But either way, I see that he's very perceptive, and he does seem to want to talk with King Nalgora Cragheim when we do get there. I still am not sure if he should be part of the Conference of the Keys, and she says in a hushed tone.
And
However, I do think...
Aldrag actually does kind of retort back and says, only the guardians of the elemental pillars have the ability to do so. We are in an odd circumstance with there being 5 of you that are keepers of the earth pillar, but with that being the case, it will be King Farrand, King Nalgora Cragheim, myself, and your group. No one else will be allowed.
Either way, I do think we should escort him, and he does have some... He seems to sense that there's something going on with the pillars themselves, and that's what I got from talking to him. So he is perceptive, and he does seem to know kind of in general what's going on. So I don't know if that's good information for him to know, or if we should be wary of him. But again, he seems harmless to me. It's just I've never met someone so old and wise. It's so strange. It's like talking with... I don't even know. It's just strange to me.
He still creeps me out a little bit.
I get that. Well, either way, I think we should try to welcome him as best as we can onto the ship, as we did get him yesterday, nearly dead. So maybe some entertainment is in order, right?
Perhaps entertainment. What kind of entertainment could there be out on board, out on sea?
Maybe we could have another pirate day.
You'll see. We're a fun ship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll pitch it to the rest of the crew and see if they're up for another day. How far out are we from Folden Rock at this point?
Yeah, you're about a day and a half travel from, not Folded Rock, from Aishen Island. Specifically the north shore where Flomberge is.
Flomberge. Okay. Well, maybe we can talk it over with the crew tonight, and then if it's okay, maybe tomorrow we can have some Festivus on board the ship. What do you think, Zil?
Oh, I'm always down for some fun.
I guess we'll do that. Do we have any time to do actions today?
Yes, and so I'll allow you to do your 1 action each per day. With that, I'm going to have each of you do your skill check. So what are you guys doing specifically?
You go first, Zil.
I'm training my axe.
All right. Absolutely. Go ahead and make a physical skill check for me. 12. You gain 50 points of experience.
I can use the Leviathan axe.
And actually, Zil, as you have been doing your training out on kind of the top deck, you actually have formed to a degree a audience. And they are quite captivated at the way that you're able to swing such a heavy axe. And during this time, you're actually using your, is it Damascus battle axe?
Yes.
And you feel at this moment that you want to try getting your hands on your Leviathan axe. And so you go down below deck, you grab that, you bring it up, and you begin to feel almost as if it's lighter in your hands, more wieldy as you begin to swing it back and forth. It seems almost natural, as if all the training that you've been doing seems to have gotten you to this point. Thus, you are now proficient with the Leviathan axe.
That's crazy. So is it a legendary weapon?
Yes. It's a legendary weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
so
it
you
is.
now officially... Oh my gosh, that thing's gonna hit like a truck when you start smacking people.
So at this point, does it even matter tracking experience?
Not with the
Right.
battle axe, but with other weapons. If you're using them,
Yeah,
make sure you're
yeah.
tracking. That's
Ah,
another
this-
key thing. If you've maxed out your experience with certain weapons, it's always good. Nice benefit to that is you don't have to worry about tracking experience.
It's true.
Let's go.
That's freaking sick. Don't forget, Zill. I need my Refinium sword at some point.
As soon as I have a chance.
Hey, you're going to the home of the furnace.
Oh yes.
Maybe there. I've got a Refinium ingot.
Drakencraft broadsword.
How much refinium would broadsword take?
Broadsword require 2 refining ingots.
I've got 1 ingot.
I've got 2.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna let you use yours.
Rude but fair. Rude but fair.
Well, if you fail and we have to do it again, at least do another one, right? Yuki. Okay, quick question.
Mhm.
I've been debating about this because there's been some time that like Yuki's been wanting to like sit down and read the Guardian Historia. Is there any benefit that come from it aside from just gaining knowledge about the Guardian Historia?
Potentially. So basically, it would give you like a background on stuff, and depending on like the rules that you would give, I would give you some relevant information from the Guardian Historia that might help you on your current quest.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she'll take the rest of the afternoon. She'll just go back to her room. Well, not to her room. She'll be on deck and kind of like what she was doing before in the morning. Like if people like walk by her, she'll comment about the Guardian Historia. But she'll continue to read it and see if
I'm gonna have you make 2 skill checks for me. The first one is going to be a knowledge skill check.
That's really good. 18.
18. As you begin to read, you find yourself engrossed in the source material, and without much time, the entire afternoon has gone by, and evening has begun to set in. During this time, too, you've been calling out to people, not really calling out to people, but kind of side remarking certain things. I'm going to have you make an influence skill check for me.
13.
13. Some people kind of take the bait, some people not so much. But as you have been making your remarks, somebody in particular. Who was it? Nalathir
Oh, Nalathir.
has made his way over, and for a bit of the time has begun to give you some of his kind of insight on the Guardian Historia. He begins to kind of like show you like certain connections, particularly in the ways of kind of like the first books of the Guardian Historia, and its connection to specifically the land of Ashalinthil. And in this case, Ashalinthil was kind of a legendary type of like ancient region. You guys have learned a little bit about kind of the flooding of the region of Ashalinthil when you guys were below the sea in the Krakora area. But he talks about how it was kind of the first real kingdom of people to exist. And after the conflicts of the very first wars in the First Age, this is actually the root of Elven civilization. And most of where the High Towers...
Where in
just
Hightower?
the region of Ashalinthil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so like this whole flooded area. And so it was not only fertile, but it was quite, how do I explain? It was quite prosperous and peaceful, obviously, before the fall of it, with kind of like the creation of the Dark Elf race. But the Hightower elves that are currently now living in Hightower, that seat of power has been moved to Hightower. And so Ashalinthil was a region that basically was ruled in kind of justice and primarily through faith. And it wasn't until actually much later that the elemental pillars themselves were discovered. And so the civilization basically sat on top of all 4 pillars, as it were, without them being known. For example, Skyspire Island was too high and too steep for anybody to climb, and because at that time the enmity existed between the flying creatures such as dragons, nobody had been able to make their way to the top to discover the Sky Pillar. In the case of the Flame Pillar, it was a basically, it used to exist down deep within the surface of the volcano. After many, many thousands of years, has it finally kind of reached the surface to the point of where it is now. But it was something that was buried and lost to kind of time, and similar with the Earth Pillar as well. In regards to the Sea Pillar, that was actually at the very, very bottom of quite a deep lake, and the pressure was so high that nobody had been able to discover it. So it seemed like these pillars were created in a way where they were placed where the majority of people couldn't have access to them, couldn't reach them, almost purposefully. As from what you have noticed with these kind of elemental pillars, they have sheer, basically like pure mana coursing through them. And it wasn't until kind of the flooding and everything happened that their later discovery that people have started to realize that this power was valuable and important enough to protect. And so, obviously, you have the Draken that have made Flombirds their home. When they had done so, they had discovered the power of the Flame Pillar, and they recognized the importance of it. It was actually the first of the pillars that were discovered. The second of the pillars that were discovered was the Sea one, which was found by the Feshen Fey elves as they were beginning to build kind of their... not their civilization there, because their civilization had kind of existed, but they had kind of evolved enough to a point where they could actually access it at the bottom of their bay. And then the next one that was discovered was actually the Sky Pillar as well. And that was discovered primarily due to the increase in climbing material and kind of the mechanical engineering and like the kind of the age of exploration that happened at the beginning of the Third Age in Everlast. And that was discovered by humans, which is why humans now are the ones who protect that. And the Earth Pillar was found in a very similar way via explorers, but particularly by
Amandalius.
Well, yeah, the Order of Amandalius as not emissaries of Amandalius, but why am I spacing on what the word is called? Missionaries.
Missionaries.
Yeah, missionaries of Amandalius, and they went down quite deep to be able to find kind of like this like naturally forming caves that lead to this, and then they kind of built it out to be more of like a more hospitable place to live, and that became one of a few places of pilgrimage actually for many of the faithful to be able to pay homage to Alamia via his power of the Earth Pillar.
The pillars are very holy in a sense because they're manic, right?
Well, they're manic, and they're tied directly in the Alamnic scriptures in the Guardian Historia to the places of creation. And so the Sea Pillar is associated with the creation of the waters. The Earth Pillar is associated with the creation of the land and the vegetation. The Sky Pillar is the creation of the basically heavens and then the day and night life cycle. And then the Flame is the power of life and death.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, Yuki, thanks him for kind of enlightening her about the pillars themselves.
And Althir says, "Not at all, lass. It's my pleasure to be able to help mine who seeks education in such things. I am quite studied in the Guardian Historia, particularly in the early books of it, so I am more than happy to be able to help."
I don't know if I've ever asked you, Nalathir. So you're on this journey with us. What is your purpose for being out here?
Vacation and travel and sightseeing. This is a cruise, after all, isn't it?
Yes. What were you? What were you doing in Feshen Fey? Like, what is your career?
Well, I am a researcher primarily, but much of my time has been cooped up in an office all day. I mean, I have many relics and whatnot that I have been able to find, but I am currently looking for my next fortune, particularly new things that I can study, that I can bring back to Fashion Fae and uncover truths.
Oh, well, that sounds very noble of you, a noble cause. Have you been to Flomberge before? That's where we're heading,
It has
by
been
the
many
way.
a year, but I find it a little bit too, toasty for my liking.
Well, that is where we're going. I know that we're going to be showing our new guest. By the way, I think you would get along with him very well. Our new guest that we found yesterday in the ocean, Horatius.
I have already had the pleasure of speaking with such a distinguished gentleman.
Of course you have. All right, well that's wonderful. By the way, we might be having some festivities tomorrow. Do you have any specific ideas of what kind of festivities you would like to participate in?
A party, you say? And he thinks long and hard about it, and he says, so we've had a pirate's night since I have been on board this ship, and that was quite fun.
Yes.
He thinks for a moment. What do you have in mind, Yuki? You seem to be the core of entertainment here on this ship.
Well, I mean, aside, I know that Horatius and I will be performing at some point tomorrow, when we do have whatever we're going to be doing. However, I think maybe having another wrestle tournament would be a fun idea, especially
It is
because
time for redemption, as Nalathir kind of joyfully lets out like a big laugh and smile, and he says, I will make sure to be properly prepared, well stretched, so I am limber.
Oh man, you're probably gonna win it, aren't you?
That is the plan.
Yuki
I have some
chuckles,
steep
but-
competition on this ship.
Yeah. I would say that as far as theme goes, I don't know if pirate theme is appropriate at this point, considering the fact that we did have to fight undead pirates, skeletons.
Yes.
Any other seafaring culture that we could do? You know, we could do. Maybe we could talk to Princess Mila. Maybe she would have a good idea for a party.
Perhaps she would be a wealth of information in regards to culture, I do believe.
As far as Fashion Fae goes, what are kind of some of the themes that you use at parties?
Well, we do celebrate many of the holy days during the year, and so most of our celebrations tend to be feasting.
Feasting. Well, what would the theme of feasting be?
Well, with us being in Fashion Fae, it always tends to be some kind of seafood or another.
Maybe we could have seafood day. First, what we'll do is we'll spend all day in the hot sun, and then eat fish in the hot sun. Maybe we gorge ourselves beforehand, and then we participate in the wrestling.
Oh my.
You mean carb loading?
Only if there's fettuccine alfredo involved.
As long as I don't have to run a 5K, I will be in tip-top shape.
Yuki will laugh and says, well, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll discuss with the rest of the crew, but be prepared. We will be having festivities tomorrow.
Indeed, I will make sure to talk to our wonderful chef Remy. I think I saw that there were many crates with some frozen crustaceans below board. Perhaps we could have a good old-fashioned Creole crawfish boil.
What's Creole?
I believe it is a spice.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm new to this ocean thing, but sounds good. Thank you for your advice, Nalathir. And Yuki will go and suggest it to the crew and see if they have any qualms or anything they want to add.
Zil, do you have anything to add?
Wrestling and food. This'll be fun.
Are you gonna participate, Zil?
What kind of question is that?
I guess that's a yes. What about me? I'm wondering if I should participate this time. Although it is quite fun to watch.
I'm gunning after that title. Thordane needs to be dethroned.
Ah, yes. Speaking of which, Thordane, what do you think of such festivities?
Thordane, again, is at the helm. He's taking his job seriously as this conversation is happening out on deck, and he says, well, of course. I think a third-time title will be, will sit well. And as you look actually on, he's currently wearing like this kind of like long like pirates like outfit, and you can tell that he has 2 embroidered badges on his chest for the first and second WrestleMania championships that he's had. He takes a lot of pride in his victories.
Oh my gosh, watch, he's gonna win again. What about you, Luxalia? Do you want to participate this time?
I kind of want to commentate if that's okay with you.
Okay, sounds good. Well,
Kokoro steps
as
forward
far
and
as
she says,
theme-
"Can I participate?"
Yes, Kokoro, you can participate.
Zill's behind her just going,
What about your master, Kokoro? Does he want to participate?
No, Master Aldrich Multiplayer, he would probably much prefer to be working during this time. There's lots of work to do, but for me, this wrestling thing sounds like fun. I've never done it before, but I will see what I can do. In her best Luxalia voice that she can muster.
Pretty good. It's pretty spot on. I'm sure Luxalia is not very happy with it, by the way.
Yuki's just like, or not, Zill's just like trying, look at Yuki like, no, what have you done? What have you done? No.
She's just gonna huck someone off board.
She's gonna just take up and just throw.
Oh, it's dexterity based. I don't know how dexterous she
Well,
is.
it's
it
either
right?
or, and so like you have to rotate between the
Okay.
physical and dexterity skill checks. Remember, you can't do
She'll
two of the
just-
same in the
She'll
row.
destroy people with the physical score, but
Oh my goodness.
well, we can ask Horatius if he wants to participate as well. But how does the Creole cookout sound? That's what Nalathir suggested.
Everybody kind of looks around and they all agree to it. They are actually quite excited for it, including Princess Mila, who basically knows everything about that culture, and she is going to make it her job to prepare everything so that the theme is on point.
Well, thank you, Princess Mila. And now that you've experienced one already, hopefully you can enjoy it more this time.
I'll make sure to have lots of water prepared for all of the wrestlers.
Oh yes, the what is it? The rum of destiny or something.
The rum of ages.
Rum of ages. Princess Mila, would you be able to prepare the rum of ages for the victor?
Of course. Captain Thordane, and Thordane nods and she says, do we have any more Rum of Ages casks down below? And Thordane's like, yes, we have one dated 200 years back down below.
Why
Always
do we have
save it for-
200-year-old rum?
Always saved for a special occasion.
The rum of ages.
The Rum of Ages.
Well, I think that sounds wonderful. Let's do it.
And with that, you all prepare your evening, getting ready for
Wait,
the... Yes.
Can Luxalia study?
Yes. And is Thordane going to do anything? And I'll ask Connor when he does jump in if he wanted to do anything for
Yeah,
Belden as
Thordane's
well.
participating. You kidding me?
Well, no, not in the wrestling, but like, does he
Oh.
want to do any actions for the day before?
Oh, Thordane will continue to practice this longbow. I realize I haven't been tracking his longbow, so he needs to get more
Perfect. I'm
experience.
gonna
He's
have you
almost
make Dexterity skill
SR.
check for that. And for Zill, with this book that you're reading, I'm going to have you make a knowledge skill check for me. With a DC of
Luxalia.
16.
14 for Thordane.
Oh, I hope she's knowledgeable. Oh, no.
Thordane, he gains 100 points of experience with his longbow.
Nice. He officially has a +7 to hit.
Oh my goodness. Luxalia did not pass. It's either a 12 or a 13, but either way, it's not good.
Okay.
Not good
That's
enough.
not bad.
With
Yeah,
all,
but it
with
doesn't
all of
beat
the
the 16.
Yeah, it's a 16 DC. With all of the preparations of getting everything together for tomorrow's activities for the Creole Day, it's Luxali's finding it hard to focus. There's a little bit of mixture of excitement building up, but also a frustration of the lack of being able to concentrate. She's doing her best, but the last parts of this book, it's kind of difficult to get through. So unfortunately, she does not complete the book.
Okay, it happens. It happens.
And as the night progresses, the sunset falls kind of on the horizon, and it leaves kind of like this last bit of glimmering, a last bit of hope at the end of a good and eventful day. At this point, for the very first time, Horatius has made his way out onto the deck and has begun to mingle with the crew. And many people are coming up to him and basically granting him or wishing him well and his swift recovery, but he seems to have been almost completely healed. There are still some scrapes and bruises from his time out on the ocean and a ship, but he seems to be moving around quite a bit. And he asks, he comes up to the two of you, Zil and Yuki, and asks, "What's with all the excitement around here on board the ship?"
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Am I now?
Oh, yes you are. We're having an Eclaas Eeas
WrestleMania! Sunday!
Engaging cookout.
The food will be good, but how do you feel about some grappling, some wrestling, some throwing other people around as best you can?
He nods and he says, "I may be a little bit old to participate, but I would be more than happy to be able to watch."
I mean, I guess if you want to be lame.
He smiles and he pats you on the head, Zil, and he says, "Not lame, not yet at least. My legs work quite fine." And he kind of laughs, making a joke out of He clearly knows what you were saying, but he's just trying to get you to laugh, get you to smile. He's trying to be charismatic to a degree.
Well played.
And he looks to the rest of the crew and he says, "Is there anything that I can do to be able to help in preparation for tomorrow's events?" The last ship I was on never had such events such as these. Perhaps I found right place at the right time. Perhaps it was fate that dictated I be here.
Isn't that true either way? Didn't we pull you out of a shipwreck?
Did.
Okay. Just checking.
He smiles.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I can do to be able to help in preparation for this?
I know that. Did you talk to Bree yet? I know that she suggested that maybe you could help her with some things.
Yes, this evening I will be taking over the night's watch as making sure that everything is organized. I don't know exactly what materials and supplies we will be using for today's events, but I think that will also impact the inventory that I'm taking. So I'll make sure to take that all into account. Who should I talk to in regards to the inventory that we'll be using tomorrow so I can make sure to set that aside?
Bree, right? Tolly? I mean, Yim? Remy for food. Who else?
I have not met the cook yet. I'm very excited. From what I can smell as he takes a big whiff, something good is in the making down below deck.
You know. Yeah, it's Cajun food. I don't know if you've ever had Cajun food. I can't say I ever had.
Why are we putting our food in a cage?
That's my question too, Zell. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I trust Princess Mila and Navlithir that they know what they're doing.
Okay.
By the way, Connor's on his way, so this would probably be a good time as well after this little scene to take a quick break.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Horatius, he gives you a gracious nod, and he goes down below deck as you hear him kind of having conversations. He's definitely not as boisterous as Nalithir. He definitely seems a little, not reserved, but kind of well-mannered in comparison to Nalathir as far as like his interactions go. But generally speaking, everyone seems to have a decently positive outlook on him as far as like the people you've talked to in regards to that. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and go to a quick break if you guys are all good with that. Sweet. All right, we will see you guys very soon, and we will have Connor back. This is a good time to go use the restroom. It'll probably be a few minutes before we do come back, but use the restroom, make sure you stay hydrated, and we will be back for the second half of the Adventures of Eclaas, the Everlast RPG. All right, we will see you then. Let me know, guys, when when Connor is here and whatnot, and then we'll go ahead and jump back on.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see probably his picture show up and everything, and we'll get it going.
Cool. All right, see everybody in a few minutes.
You don't need to worry about the microphone. Just oh yeah, just me.
All
We're
right.
doing the thing.
We are back with Connor as Belbin. Let me go ahead and take down
Your little
I can
chibi-
kind of see him behind.
He
a
just
little
can't
bit.
be the chibi Belbin the whole time.
He's
Connor, if you could move over a little bit to your right. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Now we're in scene. All right. And with that, the evening is going to go ahead and proceed. Belbin, because you are the lookout, is that correct? I'm going to have you make a wisdom skill check for me. I can talk to you, Connor, a little bit after a stream about some of the changes that are made. I'm sure Dane and Max can as well, some of the changes that were made to the character sheets, because we met beforehand and we re-updated most everything on like the main statistics sheet, so that's what you'll see there. So,
Perfect.
But yes, wisdom skill check.
Yeah, I got an 8.
8. So
Oh, no.
as you are kind of watching the nights go by, one of the so Thordane is still traveling. You are up in the crow's nest as you are allowing Sariel to kind of take a little bit of a break. You pass between a very familiar set of islands, some islands that you sailed through on your way to Fashion Fae from Flomberge. I guess technically you left at Takai Town, but you went around and you sailed kind of through these islands. And these ones are called the Barrier Reef Islands. There is nobody on them, and there are a bunch of small strips of kind of like rocky land that are there. And they kind of serve as a pseudo-barrier protection for Flomberge, but it is about a day's out from specifically being near Flomberge, as it were. As you look out onto the horizon, you need the help of definitely a spyglass as you scan, even in this kind of darkness. The moon is about 3/4 full, and it's pretty bright. You don't see any inclement weather that's coming or anything of concern on the horizon. And so the night goes into a relatively peaceful evening. And then the next day brings a new adventure as everybody begins to wake up, particularly Princess Mila early as she begins setting up the ship. This is the most probably thematic that you've actually ever seen the ship decorated for one of these special, not Pirate Day, but Cajun Day.
Yeah, that's the theme. It's
And
Cajun.
it's a French Riviera as she begins to kind of string up all kinds of lights and lanterns and stuff all over the place. And she has actually had your new guest Horatius with his lute begin to flute. He begins to play kind of this little bit of a kind of like Frenchy themed kind of background during the day as the celebrations begin to ensue. The very first activity for the day, however, is breakfast and everything. And you could tell that Remy's been hard at work. She also woke up early to be able to prepare all kinds of delicious cured meats, specifically from the kind of like Fashion Fay area, Fashion Fay region. And they taste quite good. Is there anything that you guys want to do today as far as any kind of actions or anything you want to take for today before the day's events begin to ensue?
What are some other things we can do?
Yeah, so I know like one of the things that you wanted potentially to do, Zill, is help Aldred Monteblair in the creation of the new canon, which takes a little bit of time. Essentially, you can do that and kind of help to expedite the process of that a little bit. Like I said, it was about a 2-month process in order to build the canon. A little bit of help, you can expedite it by anywhere between 0, anywhere between 0 to up to 5 days each day that you choose to help, depending on how you do it. Also, like I said, there's training and stuff that you can do. You can, if you have like ingredients, like prepare specific meals. You can go through kind of like inventory of like kind of take stock of like all the stuff that is on the ship and add them to your inventory, things like that. Obviously, you can. If you have like books, if you have any kind of like research, that kind of stuff that you want to do, this is a good time to do it. Or if you specifically want to like try to actively like discover like new places that are like around like the ship, that to like potential places of interest as you are traveling, that's another thing that you can do. There's a slew of different activities that you can do, and those actually change depending on like kind of like what you like build out onto your ship too, because as I had mentioned, like you can kind of put some kind of like custom rooms and stuff when you're at port and whatnot, so you can add more things.
Zill wants a forge.
Forge on board.
Zill wants a
Have
forge.
you tried using the cooking oven on board?
Probably. There is a very high chance.
Does it get hot enough?
Actually, I don't know if Zill has ever, or if Zill did his penance.
Yeah, you can do that as your action as well.
I don't remember. I don't think I did it.
Yuki did hers. She's another penance, though. I just noticed.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that.
Yep. Perfect. Give me 1 second here.
I've got it written down.
I don't necessarily want you to read it to.
I got a new one added to me.
You got a new one added to you?
I got a new one added. Yeah, this is new.
Let's see.
I completed my first one, but now I have another one. It's fine though. I get it. For the sake of his powerful passion.
I think this is the one that you've had for a while.
No. The one that I had was to write a note to someone and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I don't remember changing this, as it were, unless you saw it, like, as I was, like, inputting stuff, and maybe it was changed from there, but...
I don't know. Either way, I'll still do this one. It's all good.
Perfect. And then I know Luxalia still has hers to do, but I'm assuming that she's going to want to try to do some studying, try to pass that.
Yeah.
So as I had mentioned, unless anything does happen during the day, this is the last day of travel before you do reach Flomberge.
Delvin wants to try to train with the Gladys.
Oh no! Again.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have you make a elemental skill check for me.
Dang, I rolled the wrong dice on accident, but it was a nat 20.
Oh no!
Nice.
It's still okay. It's still good. 18.
You can go ahead
Really
and add 150 experience.
Woo!
It's finally day 3 of training with this. It's kind of starting. You're getting used to it a little bit. There's a little bit of fight back from the person within the blade, but you are finally starting to get a little bit more comfortable with a sword. So you can go ahead and add 150 experience there.
Dang straight.
It's good though because your elemental skill modifier went from 0 to 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you got a 0 endurance. That's gonna suck.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, things got moved around.
Min-maxing
Yikes.
does not necessarily help.
It doesn't matter today, I don't think, but we'll tell you what endurance does later on. Nice. What are you at now, EXP wise, with the Gladys?
150.
First experience.
You've got D proficiency. Nice. Good. Can
Yes.
Yuki attempt to find a Kalik?
Yes, absolutely. You do find him after not too long.
And she says, "So Kalik, I don't know if you've been told what your job is going to be on this ship. However, I know something that we need is a greeter on the ship to welcome people on and off when we're in port. Do you think you could handle that?"
He looks at you kind of like you're joking. I'm gonna have you make a influence check for me.
Ah. Dirty 16.
He looks to you and he says, I mean, I partially would like to go into town wherever we're at port. Is there a
Well,
job
of course.
that I could do while we are actually sailing?
Well, so here's the thing. When you're in port, of course you can go into town and do whatever you want to do. However, if we have any important guests who are arriving on the ship, we need someone to greet them as they come on. So of course, you'll be paid for your position. So don't worry about that. It's not just for nothing.
He thinks about it. He's like, paid extra?
Well, paid. As part of your duties.
He says, I'll think about it.
Don't worry, I'll teach you everything I know about how to be charismatic. And she'll spend the next 2 hours giving him a charismatic lesson.
All right, go ahead and make
On
a
how to
charm,
greet.
a charm skill check for me.
And how to greet people properly and make sure you say at the very least, I can't go much anywhere, and as you can see, I can't walk, but I'm glad to... I'm joking. I'm sorry
Pointing
that
out my disability.
ugliness. I'm sorry for my sheer ugliness, and I hope it doesn't distract you. I'm joking.
Is Delvin teaching the class?
Yeah, right. Anyways, charm, you said? 17.
It's a good session. You teach him how to be a good greeter.
And then
in
she'll
spite of his
say-
horrible ugliness.
That's horrible ugliness. And then she'll say as well, and we'll make sure you seem like you're catching on really, really quick. We'll also make sure to get you a better means of moving about the deck as soon as we can.
And he looks to you and he says, that would be the most useful, most helpful, I think. I appreciate
We
it.
can't have you becoming Sebulba here on the ship.
What does that even mean?
Trust me, you don't want to know. You'll be so unproportional in your upper body, it'll be frightening.
I just had to Google that to get that reference.
I'm joking. But I will mark that as a penance complete. Nice. That was the point, by the way. That was the point.
I kind of figured it had something to do with like what was it? You can tell people like what it was at this point.
Oh,
what
yeah.
penance was.
As an act of service, offer to mentor or teach someone a skill you know. How to properly greet people when they come on the ship.
All right, for Luxalia, do you want to go ahead and make the knowledge skill check for me? DC 18.
Thought it was 16, but either
Sorry,
way, it
16,
doesn't matter.
16.
She's not passing. She's not passing that.
What?
Again, the festivities are just too much for her. She's found
I
herself
bet.
more involved in the preparation than anything. Zill, what are you doing for your activity?
I'm working on my penance.
Okay, perfect. I'll allow
So-
you to get that done with whatever is the case.
Should I narrate it or?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. So I go into my cabin, get out a nice sheet of paper, put it out, and in my best chicken scratch, because it doesn't write very well, Belbin. Sorry, we needed the key. Hope you understand.
Wait, did you have the same penance as I
I
did?
think so.
What? That's why mine got changed.
It was a mistake because I was like I was copy pasting stuff I started with Max's sheet and then I copy pasted it to you. You must have seen it before I changed it to what your actual penance was.
I did. I'll tell you. I didn't. So I did that penance. So I doubled up on my penances. Because what is it? You have to like tell someone like right or wrong you did or something.
Write a
like-
letter
yeah.
to someone you've wronged.
Yeah. Yeah. So we both wronged Belvin.
That's true.
It worked out anyway, I guess.
So just again, an excellent chicken scratch, whatever the heck that means. Belbin, sorry, we needed the key. I was too distracted by that and didn't think about you. You're great. We have much fun with our shenanigans. Looking forward to more.
This is like a 5-year-old wrote this. I like it. I like it.
Plenty of misspellings in
then-
there, I'm sure.
Oh, so many. And then he just goes and slips it under Belbin's door.
Belbin, you received
like-
this the morning before you start training with the Gladys. You take a little bit to wake up this morning as you had a very light night shift keeping watch. But you do eventually wake up to find this letter underneath your door.
And also, just do this with. This is to Connor, not to Belbin. Of like, this like in Zill's head, this is actually like a good apology. Like he's sincerely sorry, but like he doesn't know how to effectively apologize. It's like this is his best attempt to be like,
He's
no, I
not
feel
charismatic."
really bad about this, and I want to make it right. So that was his attempt at that. Do with
Sorry.
whatever you will. with that.
Sorry for violating you.
And with that, Belbin, you either take it, notice it, or not. It's there. It's on the floor if you don't notice it. But,
I heard dice being rolled.
I know.
Oh, no, I'm scared.
The first one was right on the line, so I had to do it again.
I'm scared.
Belvin will take it,
Okay.
glance over it, and then I assume he has some sort of like a port window in his room.
He has a chamber pot.
No!
Will then stick the letter in the chamber pot
Oh my
and proceed to relieve himself.
Not even using a
Oh,
This'll teach
Oh.
him.
I'm assuming you rolled poorly on how to receive.
That was a poor roll.
Oh no!
Well,
I don't think Belvin's not offended by the letters. He just doesn't care to read it.
How
Or, like,
dare you.
Wait,
Use it as toilet
so
paper.
you did this before even reading it?
He glanced over.
Okay,
He
okay,
glanced
okay.
over and saw what it was about, and he was just like, "Screw this."
Oh no!
Relieves
It's okay, your
himself,
penance is
uses
done.
it as toilet paper, relieves
Oh,
himself again on top of
gosh.
it. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Well, that
the
was
events proceed throughout the day. Everyone kind of takes their job on a ship, and takes their roles as the afternoon begins to build to the climactic event of the day, which is the WrestleMania match between everybody. Today's participants are going to be Bree, Kokoro, Toli, Belbin, Zil, Barnacle Bill, Thordane, and Nalathir.
We let the robot into the wrestling tournament.
I think we can
Yuki
use
did
some
not pick
discrimination,
up on
can't we?
Zill's sign going like, do not do. We are all screwed. Oh my goodness.
With that
I'm
being
scared.
the case, first round is going to be Bree versus Belbin.
Yeah, come on.
So because of the way like the stat changes and everything works now, it's still going to work where everybody is going to have their opportunity to switch between. You have to switch between physical skill check and dexterity skill checks. But after you have made those switches, in order to keep them down, you have to make an endurance skill check. In order to do it, you have to do contested endurance skill checks. The person who is pinned has despair on that skill check, and then the person just has normal. Actually, maybe. Yeah, they'll have despair on it, and then the other skill check will just be normal with the person on top.
Wait. Hold on. Who is Belbin go up against?
Bree.
Oh, nice.
We're used to track. It's super effective.
I'm just gonna lose. He's like, I've never noticed how gorgeous you were before.
She
Oh,
looks
God.
at you and she just squints like she is ready. She is ready for redemption. She's gone in the first round both times that she is ready for some redemption. As it has been announced. And at this point, you still have Horatius. He has picked up a new instrument, and now he has an accordion. And he is now playing the accordion as this is going. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start round one. So who do we have commentating this sucker? Is it going to be Yuki Luxali?
Well, yeah, Luxali and Yuki, you know. So in the right corner, we have Bree and Martha.
And in the left corner, we have Belbin. Put on a shirt,
No,
Belbin. Did you put oil on this morning?
Anything for Bree. All right.
And with that,
Oh,
WrestleMania begins. So what kind of check are you making, Belbin? For your
Gotta start off strong. You gotta start off with physical.
physical. All right.
Yeah.
Bree is going to go ahead and start off with a physical skill check as well. That is going to be a 12.
nice.
Ooh, I rolled a 13.
13. It gets close as you begin the grapple. Both hands on each other's shoulders as you feel actually like the strength like pushing you back for a little bit, Belbin, and you're able to just push through for a little bit, flipping her on the ground on her back. I'm gonna have you make contested endurance skill checks for me.
Nice.
She has hers at despair.
Hopefully she's not hurt.
14.
I got a 9.
9. She kicks you off the top and she says, "You did put oil on you. This is not fair." As she begins to kind of like rubs her hands off on her shirt. She goes in for the next attack. So she's gonna go ahead and use dexterity.
Same with me.
She got a 14.
I got a 14.
Ooh.
as well.
Ooh, I'm gonna have you make those rolls again
They're locked in.
as a 14.
It's an 8.
8. She,
Oh,
you're grappling and she's trying her best not to like slip off of your greased shoulders, but she takes her leg and she trips you and she gets on top of you and puts like her arm on your neck as she's like trying to keep you down. I'm gonna have you make an endurance skill check for me.
Yuki says from the crow's nest.
Despair.
I bet Bree's been waiting to do that her entire life.
That is gonna be a 6.
I rolled a 5.
And with that, 1, 2, 3. Belbin is down, and Bree moves
Oh!
on to the next round.
How does that feel,
I don't think
Belvin?
Belvin's ever gotten too far, but endurance hurts.
Endurance does hurt. Let me go and
Is
mark.
it +0?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Rolled a
Sweet.
5 and a 12.
So that's going to be for positioning rolls at the end of each combat round. So be careful where you're positioned. Don't get cornered.
The next
Yeah,
one
okay.
is going to be between Kokoro and Toli.
Nice. Yuki calls from the crow's nest. And for our next match, we have what is Toli? He's a
Urshia.
Grimala, right?
He's at Urshia.
Oh. We have the short, broad man Toli.
And we have the imposter, Kokoro. There are cheers, and Toli looks like very confidently like he can defeat this dainty Glyvin in combat. What's going to end up happening? I'm gonna have actually Dane. You roll for Kokoro. Just roll a d16 and give me the number that you roll.
The value.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for Toli. He's gonna make a physical skill check, and
You choose for Kokoro. I don't.
Kokoro's gonna
just
make
roll.
a physical skill check as well.
Yeah, it's a 15.
All right, Toli got a total of an 8. And Kokoro got a total. Actually, I'm not going to tell you the total.
Yeah, just smashed him through the floor.
It begins as Kokoro looks and says, "I'm ready for this match to finish in one fell swoop." As she launches forward at Toli, catching Toli off guard. He looks at almost as if to brace for impact, but you just see Kokoro go off to the side and just like take her arm and clothesline him as he lands flat on his back. Go ahead and make an endurance skill check, so a d16. As she climbs on top.
That's a natural 16.
Well, Toli got an 8. As he tries to get up off his back, Kokoro makes his way over, foot on top, and just begins pressing him, and you begin to hear the floor begin to crack. And he's like, she's like, "Do I win?" And she looks over to Yuki and Luxalia. And Luxalia is like
Yuki
looking
says,
away.
A decisive victory from Kokoro.
Bree looks on in absolute terror as that's the next round. Who she has to go up against.
Oh.
Let me go back and mark that.
So, hopefully I got those 2 really good rolls out of the way. I don't necessarily want her to win. I just think that's hilarious.
And the next round is going to be Zill and Barnacle Bill. Don't
Yes.
worry,
Yeah,
I
dude,
got
this
you
one.
this time.
We'll see, buddy. We'll see.
And the next match, we have the Spider of the Masts, Barnacle Bill versus
The Teapot of Madness, Waffle House, the future Refinium Prospector, and constantly second place, Zill.
Hey! That changes now. Changes today.
We'll see about that, Zill. As he gets ready to go, he is going to go ahead and use Dexterity as his first roll.
15.
Okay.
Solid.
He got a total of a 12. And so you launch forward, you begin to grapple him for a moment, and you can tell that he's like trying to slip around the back of you to catch you from behind, but you're able to trip him up in the process. And he falls face forward as you get down onto his back, knee on his back. I'm going to have you both make endurance skill checks. He's going to do his at disadvantage. That's going to be 15.
17.
It is a well hot. You can tell well hard fought. He's trying to squeeze his way out from underneath, except you with your vice grip take your arms and pin his shoulders down to the ground. He's like, I didn't know you were so strong. So he just begins to be hit. All right, I give. As Zill
These are
ends
quick
up,
matches.
ends up, yeah, compared to the last ones, doing that. All right, cool. So that is Zill for his first round.
Woo!
Which means the last round is going to be Thordane and Nalathir. So Dane, if you will roll for Thordane for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, yeah, go ahead and announce, Yuki.
Yeah, Yuki says, and the two-time WrestleMania champion, Thordane, my captain, versus
The third place Fashion Fair regional champion, Nalathir.
Does he have a sweet costume like he did last time?
Yes, actually, as he goes on to the mat, you can tell that he doesn't have a shirt on. He's actually taken a page out of Belbin's book, and he has like this like cloth belt tied around, and he's got like these knickers on, but he doesn't have socks underneath. He's in his bare feet, and he has a headband tied around his head, and he's got an ascot as well. As he is ready, and he looks over to Thordane, and he's like, "Oh yes, this will be a gentleman's fight, a nice grapple to the death."
Thordane's like, to the death.
I nearly jest.
Okay. Thordane's gonna roll a dexterity.
He's gonna roll a physical skill check.
Good luck. That's a 17.
That's a
Thordane
4.
off the bat. Oh,
And as he says to the death, Thordane looks at him, narrows his gauge, and lunges forward, and he drop kicks him onto his back. Just launches drop kicking down there. Now there's like, oh, this isn't traditional grapple technique. As Thordane gets down on top. I'm gonna have you make endurance skill checks. He's gonna make his with despair.
Thordane says, to be the best, you have to play the best. And he's gonna
That is a 14.
14.
Ooh, we're gonna
Thordane.
redo that check. That is an 8.
Yeah, Thordane won. 15.
15. As he goes like, this isn't fair, and he's like rubbing his chest. Thordane gets down and pins him, and there's a fury in Thordane's eyes, one that he's never seen. He whispers, "You will not take this from me," as he just pushes him into the ground. And Nalathir's like, "You're more terrifying than I thought. I give." As Thordane does move on to the next round. And
Well-
with that being the case, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the next round, which is Bree versus Thordane.
Okay. All right. Thordane, or Yuki announces, with not much rest, because he doesn't need it, our captain is up in the next round.
And
Thordane has a sweet hat on, his
look-
captain's hat on.
Luxalia says, "And we have the underdog, the Cinderella story. We have Bree, Queen of the Below Deck, or the
Thordane's
Quartermaster Queen."
And Thordane exclaims, "Ah, yes, Bree. I don't see how you can best me, but have at thee."
Watch out for her.
Don't take any offense, Captain. Don't take any offense, Captain. But I expect a pay raise once I've beaten you. Sorry, it didn't look Sully's voice. I didn't mean to.
Thordane
expect a pay
turns
raise after
to
beating
Belvin
you.
was like, "What do you mean attract? I don't understand. It's Bree."
All I know is I was infatuated for one turn.
Now that you mention it, she is a looker, that's for sure. But Thordane's gonna roll a dexterity.
All right, she's gonna do a physical skill check. That's gonna be a 10.
Yeah, that's 11. Nice.
And so Thordane lunges forward, and she does too, both at blinding speed. They begin to grapple each other as they begin to move around, trying to she's trying to physically force him down to the ground, while Thordane is trying to use his elvish maneuvering to get around the back, which he does, and he grabs her as he's trying to like pin her down to the ground. We're gonna make endurance skill checks. That is going to be a 14.
15. 15.
Thordane, boom, knocks her to the back of her knee with his. She goes down on one knee and she's like, "No, Captain, not like this." As you hear her begin to scream as she's just, as Thordane just, with all of his might, tries to pin her down, and then and pin her forehead to the ground. Both of them in a deep struggle. 1, 2, 3. Thordane advances once again to the finals.
To the finals. Ooh, nice. Do you want to roll for Kokoro, Connor?
Yeah. Where's the stat sheet? Do I need the
No,
stat
you just roll a d16.
sheet? Okay.
So the next one is going to be. Let me write that down. Zil versus Kokoro.
Oh,
You got this.
It's just a straight D16. He has no other modifiers.
No, Kokoro, she has the modifiers, but I'm not letting anybody know what those
Oh, okay,
modifiers
gotcha,
are.
gotcha,
So I'm
gotcha.
just adding
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
modifiers.
Gotcha.
because they're
Okay.
probably freaking huge.
Disgusting. Yeah.
With that, Kokoro, she goes, and in her best Luxalia voice, she says, "I hear that you are skilled at wrestling. I will see what I can do to make sure to best you."
Okay.
And Yuki, go ahead and make introductions.
Yes, Yuki calls from the crow's nests. And on to the semi-final, we have Kokoro, the menace of the sea.
And again, we have the Teapot of Madness, Waffle House, the Future Emporium Prospector. I missed one last time, which is the Orphan of Helix, and second place, 2 times running, WrestleMania runner-up, Zil.
Wow, thanks. I'm not nervous.
You'll be good. You'll be fine.
We got this. Bring it on, Kokoro.
All right, and with that,
Ah!
the match begins. I'm gonna have you go ahead and make your physical skill check. She's gonna go ahead and start with a dexterity this time.
Okay. 12 plus your modifier.
Zil.
You got this, Bill.
7.
Oh, it's okay.
7. Again, it doesn't, battle bars don't even matter. She's beating on flat rolls. And so
No!
Kokoro, she looks to him and sees that she begins calculating in her head. He looks like he's a physical presence. I will make sure to get around the back of him and make sure to trip him up where he's at. And so she does. She rushes around and in blinding speed, looks like she is going to take you from front on, slides under your legs, does a flip, and kicks you in the back as you begin to fall forward. Go ahead and make a D16 roll for me, Connor, and make a endurance skill check at despair.
And Kyle, roll a
Phil,
d16.
you're so done.
You roll a d16. Kami did
Oh,
did
sweet. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. D16. That is a 4.
nice, solid.
Can we use that for
Yeah,
Kokoro?
use that for
bro?
Kokoro.
All right, what
Please.
was Kokoro's roll?
15.
15.
No one
now.
can roll this. It had to be Kokoro.
12.
No.
As Kokoro kicks you in the back, you fall face forward, and looking at this robot you see as this menace stands over you, and you remember what happened in the last combat against Belvin as Belvin? Who was it? Tully. As you hear the cracking underneath, you're unsure if it is your own rib cage or if it is the same planks that are being cracking around you. As she begins to push you down, face into the wood.
Tap out! Tap out! Tap out!
She's terrifying.
I I was expecting more of a challenge from the runner-up 2 times running. As she goes and she says, that was a well-fought grapple.
Thordane looks over to Zill and says, any advice, Zill? That's not just a robot, that's a terror.
Run as fast as you can.
Oh my god.
Run away.
Oh my
Concede. Don't do it.
It's
And
my
it's
job
funny
as
because
captain
I'm
to
not even
maintain the
using
dignity of
modifiers.
this
It's just
crew.
the straight rolls that she's winning on every time.
Thordane says, it's my job to maintain the dignity of this crew. I will not lose to this robot.
And Luxalia says, which brings us to the final round of Creel WrestleMania. We have to our left, the captain of Alumnia's Breath, Thordane, 2-time champion. Into the finals, soon 3-time champion. We all believe in you, Captain.
And Yuki says, and in the other corner, the surprise contestant, Kokoro the robot. Speaking of which, where is her master? And she looks over from the crow's nest. Is he even paying attention?
Nope. He is currently fast at work, putting together. There's a bunch of pieces laying around him. He's sitting crisscross applesauce on the deck, like preparing stuff with his,
Nice.
welding things together.
Well, luckily she's a robot, so she doesn't have any pride herself. And it won't be tarnished by her master not paying attention to her. Let the battle begin.
All right, go ahead and for Thordane, make a roll.
He's gonna roll a dex roll.
She
Are
is
you gonna roll
going to
for a
do
Kokoro?
a physical skill check.
Okay. Okay.
13. for
11.
Kokoro.
Oh no! Oh, no!
Yeah, I don't even need to add modifiers here. As
Oh my goodness.
as the grapple begins, she looks at Thordane and sees how dexterous he is, and she analyzes. He seems quite a bit more dexterous than me, and from the past 2 rounds, I've been able to calculate exactly his exact movements and his strategy. And as Thordane goes to slip around behind, she steps. She does a fake sidestep back into him, grabs him by the shoulders, and you can see she's looking peacefully into his eyes, but her grip begins to tighten.
Oh no!
All right, Connor, make a D16 roll for her
my
endurance.
That's an 11. These
Oh!
are the best rolls.
All right. 15.
She got a 14.
Oh! Oh!
Thordane breaks out of the grapple, squeezes and slides down, and tries to make his way around the back. He has to make a physical skill check, and she's going to make a dexterity skill check.
Dang, that was with despair that you got a 15?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. He's actually got pretty good endurance.
Okay.
So,
Well, I think whatever this check is, I think I got you.
yeah, that will be an 11.
I got a 14.
Yeah, sweet. Without
Kokoro,
my
as Thordane slips around the back without even turning, Kokoro bends her arm backwards and grabs him by the scruff, begins to pick him up as she's beginning to throw him back over the top of her. Make an endurance skill check.
I don't know about that. That is an 18.
I rolled a 15, so is that an 18?
That's an
too?
18 even.
Oh my
Go
god!
ahead
rolled
and
an
re-roll.
18 with despair?
Yeah, 16 and a 15.
Holy
Yeah.
cow. Oh, nat 16.
Yeah. That's a 15.
With that, she begins to bring him around. Thordane is upside down, glancing at him, and she has just like this soft smile on her face. And she says, "This ends now," as she slams Thordane onto the ground face forward. The deck actually cracks underneath this, and Thordane is face down, unconscious on the ground.
No!
Kokoro looks around and says, "Am I the winner?"
Yuki's just looking in disbelief and is just like, I think it was a mistake to let Kokoro join, but she can enjoy the rum of ages.
The rum of ages!
I
As she
told you!
puts her fist into the air. What is the rum of ages?
Princess Mila, I'm assuming, is gonna.
Yeah, she comes over and she presents Kokoro with this bottle of rum. This is special from the stash from down below. It is a 100-year-old aged rum of ages. And Kokoro takes it and says, "I have no use for this." As she looks to Thordane, she picks him up, says, "I'm sorry, Captain. I don't drink. You can have it." As she hands the rum of ages over to Thordane. Thordane is just like delirious as he's just like looking at her, stars in his eyes.
Thordane takes the rum of ages and says, "I am a disgrace to this crew." And he's like, "I need some Creole food."
Does Aldreg notice?
Aldreg does not
Kokoro?
notice. He is busy and hard
She's just
at
trying
work.
to get the attention of her
She-
creator. And
She walks
Nothing
through
she
the
can
crowd. She walks through the crowd, and the crowd parts before her as she approaches Aldreg Monteblair. And she says, "Master, Kokoro has won a distinguished championship." And Aldreg, he doesn't look up, but he addresses her, and he's like, "Ah, is that what that ruckus was about?" As he continues to put his gears together, and she says, "Yes, I am the Creel WrestleMania Alumnia's Breath Champion." And he looks up at her and says, "Well, how fair is that? You're built with sheer strength and brawn." As he kind of dismisses her as he looks back down at the ground, he says, "I'll build another robot at some point, and we'll see what you can do against that one. Don't take that as much of an accomplishment, Kokoro." Kokoro says, "Yes, master. I clearly understand. I've been built with brilliance."
Thordane is just over here, just like, "I have failed. I am sorry, everyone."
Totally is nursing a cracked rib.
Thordane turns to Belvin and says, "You should let me borrow some of that
PTSD.
body. You should let me borrow some of that body lotion, or not, what is it? Body oil. Maybe I would have escaped."
And as this is happening, you hear from the crow's nest, Sariel announce, "Land ho! Land ho!" As all of you look over to the front of the ship and you see Aishen Island rising on the horizon. You are about a half day's travel, meaning probably a meal and a good amount of sailing. You will be at the docks of Flombard for the evening. Belbin, I'm going to have you make a wisdom skill check for me.
14.
14. Sariel calls down to you, Belbin, and says, "Master Belbin, I need a second opinion."
How close is the land? Can I see it from without going up to the crow's nest?
It's very, very, like, you can barely see it on the horizon.
Okay.
Aishen Island is huge comparatively, and so, like, there's definitely something in the distance, but she is asking for a second opinion.
Okay. Belvin, yeah, she'll climb up to Sariel.
As she gives you, she's looking clearly with her eyes squinting into the distance, and she says, "This doesn't do much to help," as she hands you the spyglass. And as you look through it, you see, yes, clearly Aishen Island is off in the distance. However, she moves the eyeglass to the right, and you can see what look to be two ships that are sailing around, and you see skulls and crossbones on the flags of that. And that is where we're going to end our session.
Oh,
Pirates!
no.
We should have had pirate theme instead of Creole theme.
And with that, I know it was kind of a little bit short-lived with Connor being here, but let's go ahead and jump into thoughts on today's session. By the way, it is getting into the evening, and so the sun is still up. but it's probably around 4 to 5 p.m. Sunsets around 8 p.m. And at the pace that you are going, chances are you will make landing in Flomberge around 1 a.m.
We gotta fight pirates, so it's gonna be later than that.
It's going to be later than that. All right.
The
Just
bloody
stick
bosun
Kokudo on them.
is
and-
come for revenge. You should have kept the head and thrown it on their deck and say, "Hey,
Get out of here. All right. Zill, your thoughts on today's session?
You know, it was good to do the penance. Glad that Zill doesn't know what happened to it. That was brutal. And he sincerely thought this will be good.
that's
But-
what matters, though."
Like maybe we'll be better friends.
Yeah, you're not responsible for how he receives an apology.
Yeah. So it was nice to remember to do that. I should check it off. And yeah, the wrestling is always fun, but oh my goodness, the minute Yuki okayed that, Zill's like, we're dead. We're all
We're
dead.
done for.
We're all dead. This
But the
is not
thing is,
gonna
like, she
happen.
was just based off of Connor's and like Dane's natural roles for her. It
I
wasn't even
know.
like basically the last one was the first one where like even modifiers even mattered. So-
Yeah.
Mechanically, sure, but like role playing wise, it's just like
Horrifying.
Zill picked up that cannon. She couldn't lift it. She picked it up like it was nothing. So like Zill has first-hand experience the strength of Kokoro. So he knows exactly how strong this thing is. And he's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
The thing is,
oh no.
you had to get past the first round where she rolled her strength check.
Yeah. But
And
she
then-
started with Dex against me, and I can't roll like crap.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because I
that's
don't know,
Zill.
because I'm me. Yeah, so that was something. That was terrifying. I can use my Leviathan axe now, and I'm so excited. Let's fight some pirates.
Yeah, that looks
Let's
like it's coming on the
Bash
horizon.
their
here.
head in. Which I think wait, why do both my fancy new axe and my Draken Damascus hand axes have a +7 to damage? I feel like one of those things. Wait,
Yeah, the Leviathan should have a +4 to damage. Based
plus
On top
4
of
on
your-
plus
top
physical,
of
on top of
okay.
your
yeah, physical
yeah.
+4.
I was going off if it was Refinium. Great. And then would the hit just be +3?
It'd be the legendary.
Yeah, so it's +4 is the hit.
Okay.
So all
And
of
that's
your
because
all of
it's-
your battle axes now have a +4 to hit. So
All
that
of them,
also
yeah.
includes
Wait,
your.
so B
Damas-
is +2, but A is +4?
no 8.
Well, just because it's heroic. Because it's heroic.
Well, okay. So specifically, oh, actually, that's a good point. Maybe. No. The way that it
'Cause
is it should be
It's
with
Refinium.
it should be +3 to hit because this specific axe is a legendary. You get an additional +1, but that's not
Okay.
applied to the rest of everything. So, the
So
maximum
all my
that you can
battle
have is
axes have +3.
yes,
this one
except for
has
this one
+4.
that has +4.
Cool.
That is correct.
Roger.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so really exciting that, like, I mean, I haven't had this axe terribly long, but like it has been an exciting wait of like, okay, like this is here. I get to use it soon. So yeah,
I want to
that's been
see.
really
I want to
exciting.
see Zill try to do stealth, where he jumps underwater and he swims to sneak on board the pirate ship, and without being seen. And then he climbs because he can breathe underwater for like up to 60 feet deep. Climbs on board the ship and is just like surprise. Just with the axe.
The problem is I don't know how much swimming he will do in full plate armor.
That's true. He'll doing a lot of sinking.
Do
And
a
how
lot of
much-
sinking.
And how much noise he'll make, too. Just clanking up the side of the ship.
It's like who's
But-
putting down the anchor?
I can just imagine. I don't know how it worked. It's just from under the ship, like chuck the axe up, and it just like sticks in the deck, and then he comes in, pulls it out, and just.
You can use your cloak to teleport over there. So you could do like throw it onto the ship and just like and just teleport over there.
We've got plans.
Other than that, you know, it's been oddly satisfying actually getting this character sheet kind of cleaned up a little bit. I think there might be some tweaking that needs to happen to make all the information in the right place. But I had a lot of fun with the behind the scenes stuff when, you know, Dane or Connor were taking the spotlight. So,
That's great. Dane, your thoughts on today's session?
Yeah, really good session. I enjoyed all of the shenanigans. Obviously, having Creole Night. Man, we're gonna have to fight pirates on Creole Night. We're gonna have to start talking in a Louisiana accent when we're fighting some pirates. But no, it was really good. It was really good. I always enjoy WrestleMania whenever we do have it on Alumnia's Breath, and getting to know
Barnacle Bill
the
that tonight is referred to as Bayou Bill.
Bayou Bill. And he talked on it.
oh my goodness.
He's just like, what did you say? No, I mean, it was really good. Always getting to know more characters. I think this is the first time Yuki's actually really sat down with the Kalik to any certain degree and talked to him really one-on-one.
Insulted him?
No, that was just behind the scenes. She was kind to him. She was teaching him how to be a proper gentleman, despite his scarred face. Yes, horribly ugly face. No, I mean, it was really good. I always enjoy these sessions, and glad that Connor could make it. It's a bummer Cole couldn't make it today, but yeah, I look forward to the next section and fight some pirates, as it seems we're going. So that'll be good.
Well, now, too, something to think about, now that things have been spotted, and actually very good for you, Belbin, to be able to get that decently high roll, is you'll have a decent amount of preparation on kind of deciding like how to engage the combat as opposed to the combat just ensuing in the way of my choosing. So, yeah, that's definitely a beginning of next session, something to be able to think about, talk about with the rest of the party. So, for sure. Connor, your thoughts on today? I know you came a little bit late, so maybe it seemed quite short.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no, it was good. I think had some unfortunate rolls with Belbin with the note, and then also with the WrestleMania. But Kokudo seemed to make up for whatever was lacking in some of Belbin's rolls, it seemed.
That's some nice hijinks.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, I thought it was good. This was actually the first WrestleMania that I've actually been here for, I think. So it was short-lived for Belbin. Yeah, all the other ones I seem to be gone for. So not Belbin's best showing, but that's okay. So yeah, I think it was good. It was fun. And Kokudo seems to have some sort of like daddy issues or creator issues.
That's good.
Whatever you want to call it. So just wants to know that she's loved.
It's like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah, no, this
You
was
succeeded with your Surtang.
That's true. Yeah, the Gladys,
Yeah.
the training, that was good. That was. Now I know every time I roll a crappy roll, though, I'll be taking some misery for it. So that was good to not take that.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
it was. We were trying to figure out. We were like, why is he taking like a misery? And it's like, that's why. So.
Yeah, that's why.
How? I have a question, just kind of above game. Are you counting up or are you counting down for Belbin?
On the sheet, how I've been doing it is, so right now he's 3 out of 11, and I think when I get down to 0, I'll be in neutral because the neutral's on the bottom. Is how I was.
Yeah, that's
keeping
how it's
track of
supposed
it.
to be. So I wasn't sure. I'm like, either
Okay.
he's in like a lot of danger or he is doing okay.
Mildly okay. Yeah.
I'm like,
Mildly
just
okay.
3 training failures that it's just like, well, he's lost it. He's lost his way. Okay,
That's enough to push anyone over the edge. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, as far as today's session, these sessions like out on the sea, because I've been kind of like rolling like on myself for like my kind of like encounter tables, and like surprisingly like it's been pretty smooth sailing as far as things go. But yeah, I'm excited potentially for a combat next session. I mean, I guess it's completely up to you guys if you want to actually do the combat or sneak around or do whatever you want with that. But yeah, there is definitely something brewing like on the horizon here. But again, these kind of theme nights are always fun to be able to be a part of, and because there's always like a little bit of randomness that happens in them, and especially with kind of like the way that the new stats are kind of allocated, which that's one thing that I actually with you guys like afterwards, I'll allow you guys to be able to kind of reallocate a little bit of some of your stats if you wish to do so. Yeah, I want to spend a little bit of time, which is kind of why we ended a little bit earlier, so we can go through you guys' character sheets and do that. But yeah, as far as everything is concerned, I'm very much looking forward for next session and what you guys are planning to do, because there's 2 pirate ships out in the distance, and curious to see how you're going to confront.
Is Aldreg's cannon with his cannon ready to go?
Yeah, it is.
He does. You guys do have one charge.
We gotta use that
Oh
thing.
man! It's gonna shoot one shot at it. It's just gonna explode a ship.
What's the range on that thing? Yeah.
Ooh, yes, actually, that's good to know. So let me go ahead and jump over to
Can we just snipe him from half a sea away and they'll never know what hit him?
Whoa, it's a big. So it's not like a full-size cannon. It's a swivel cannon. It's still gonna hit hard. Obviously, it's gonna hit real hard. But it's not as big as like a full-out cannon would do. But as far as like range goes, give me 1 second. The range
Ballistas are
on this
plus
sucker.
4 and 5d10. 450 for that.
Okay. The range is going to be 400 feet by 800 feet.
So disadvantage at 800
Despair at
or
800.
despair at 800.
800 and
Still
up.
good.
So
It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. And then what we can do is we can just have Luxalia summon a lightning storm, and then Aldrich will just be loading that cannon.
you have
All
to go
through the
from you have to
storm.
go from front to back though, and see him like going on like this thing to like recharge, and then like go back, recharge, go back. And just like you guys get up to the side of the ship and you're like grappled in combat, and he's just sitting at the front, just unloading like shots into the hull of the ship.
It's okay, because Kokoro's gonna Incredible Hulk the ship. She's just gonna jump onto it and just destroy the deck, just start ripping planks off.
Just take the mast and then just take it and break it over her knee. No, it'll be good though. But yeah, so I am curious to think about next session and how you guys want to approach that. Kind of going into yeah, I mean, it's things are gonna really start to kind of pick up here now that you're coming back to Aishen Island and the events that are happening. I feel like literally for the past 2 years, all the events that you guys have been doing have been kind of been culminating to these next few sessions. So they're gonna be pretty big as far as that goes. But anything else that you guys want to add before we do go? Dane, do you have any announcements?
As far as the rest of the week, Max, are you guys streaming this weekend?
We are.
Okay.
So yeah, Cole and I will be continuing It Takes Two on Sunday evening. We're gonna shoot for 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 Eastern, but I mean Cole is coming from something else, so we're gonna start when he gets home and can get everything set up.
Cool.
So we're gonna shoot for 7. Bear with us if it's not 7. Sorry ahead of time.
It's nice though that you guys are still able to do it. Is the
Yeah.
good thing. So I know that it's a popular stream, and your guys' hijinks and shenanigans is pretty
It's
funny.
it's
so.
also
And-
too important for those who are watching to join the Discord, because like if something like that does happen, we do post going live notifications when we are, and then like also general time frames. Like for example, today we were like 10 minutes later, 15ish minutes later, and that's how we keep you guys in the loop, so you know, so you're not just like, oh, are they streaming or not? So like if there are changes, Discord is the place to go. Join our Discord so you can get those notifications.
Also, just a fun kind of like sneak peek into where we're at right now. For those of you who don't know, It Takes Two is kind kind of a game about this couple who is considering divorce, and their daughter isn't happy about it, so they magically turn into her toys. And they have to work together to get back. And the level we're currently on is genius. It's so good. I've been talking to Cole about it for like 3 days.
Better than the jumping platforms that you guys were doing last time.
Oh gosh, same level. Those platforms were awful. I never finished platforms, but the whole complaint is like the husband feels like the wife has no time for him because she's always at work because she needs to provide for the family because that's the way the family's set up, and she feels like he's really bad at managing time. So like what he thinks will take 10 minutes takes an hour, or like, so when she does have time, like he's not available because he mismanaged it. Every level you get new powers. This level is going on in a clock. We are in the family clock. Her power is to be in 2 places at once. His power is to control time. Like directly relating to the frustrations they have with each other. I'm like, this is such a genius level.
That's great.
It's so good.
That's
It
really
is
cool.
so good.
So make sure to tune in for that. That'll be sweet whenever they do start.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be Sunday. So make sure to join them for that as well.
Yes, and then the rest of the week is the same. So we're gonna be having prayer stream on Monday. Tuesday, Kyle will be back with, or actually Tuesday, we'll be with some Adventures in Middle Earth.
Nope. It's a fifth. It's a fifth.
It's a 5th week.
It's a 5th day. It's the last day of the month, and so we will be doing some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and same on Friday, some more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We're kind of getting towards the back end of the game. We're like chapter 11 now, so there's 17 chapters, but we're doing a lot of unlocking. It's a huge game. I can't even believe how gigantic this game is, but yeah, we're already 108 hours into it, something like that. It's disgusting. So enjoy it. It's like, join me for that. It'll be really fun. But no
It'll be good.
Everlast next weekend.
Yeah, speaking of which, as far as that goes, so Everlast is going to be in 3 weeks.
Is it?
So not in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, because the first, oh no,
It's 2 weeks.
it's
it's
2
gonna be
weeks.
nice.
It's just going to be a weird month where Everlast and AME are on the same week. Yeah, weird. So in 2 weeks, as far as other announcements go, so we have our game, our Everlast trading card game. The Kickstarter finished, and we got 160% funded, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. So we're currently in the process of collecting the payments. It's like a 13-day period that Kickstarter will be giving us the funds to be able to start printing things off, just to make sure that people's payments have gone through. I think the vast majority of payments have gone through at this point, which is really nice. But yeah, we're currently doing that, and then we'll be in the production process of it, and so we will be getting those out to everyone who did help back the Kickstarter in June and early July, which will be
Backer
really good. So
surveys
look
have
forward to that.
also gone out, and for those of you who ordered physical product, make sure you fill out those backer surveys, because that's how we get your contact information to ship you your product. If we don't have that, you don't get your product because we have no place to ship it to you. So if you want to get that as soon as possible, like the days we start shipping things out, make sure you fill that out, the backer survey out. It should go to the email that you use for Kickstarter. So make sure you go do that and complete that for us. It's very, very helpful for us to get the game to you.
Yeah, I think I saw both Connor and Max fill it out. Nice.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys. Yes, so the backer surveys, yes, please fill those out. That really helps us. And as far as other ways to be able to support Fantasy Forged, so we have, if you want to continue to support the art of Everlast, that's how all of these amazing arts are funded, are through Coffee of the Realm and Fragrances of the Realm. So again, it's our Everlast themed coffee and candles. They're really good. All proceeds go to paying our artist, which is awesome. So if you like coffee and you like delicious smelling candles and you want to be able to help us continue to fund the art of Everlast, those are wonderful ways to be able to do so. So go check those out.
Also, prototypes came in for boxes and everything for
Yes.
the Everlast TCG. These are actually the double sized, and so I wanted to see like how big they were in comparison to like the packs and everything. So these are double the size of what the boxes are actually going to look like for booster boxes, but these are the Raising of Helix booster boxes. So they're pretty sweet. They have like a nice little like pop-up, and
and then the pack arts, specifically our first edition pack arts. So we have, and they're really like actually like high quality packs that we'll be filling. And then
Cool.
so that's the Raising of Helix, and then for Heroes of the West, we have the box art for.
Those look so good.
But they're gonna be half the size. Keep in mind,
Yeah,
they're not
so
gonna be that tall.
They'll be squatter like this, but yeah, these ones are with King Alexander like on the front.
Yes, and the first edition pack arts, the boxes they're the same. The only difference is doesn't have the first edition
Yeah,
for
there's
the
a
stuff that'll be
first
coming
edition
out.
Here for
Yeah, but as far as the actual pack arts for the unlimited edition, they're on the boxes, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah, so these will be the pack arts for the unlimited edition. So there'll be the 4 different pack arts per box. But yeah, the special packs that you guys have right now, those are the first edition ones. So they're very different.
Yeah.
But
So it's really exciting, but we'll get those out to you guys, those of you who did order. And then we have our amazing sponsor, Daisnaki. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company based in Tokyo, Japan. They're a small family business, and if you do decide to buy from them, it's free international shipping. And if you do decide to buy from them, there's like a little box on the checkout screen. Make sure to type in it that Forge sent you, or I came from Fantasy Forge. That's how we get the credit for it. Also, make sure to put your Twitch username, because once we hit a specific referral limit from Fantasy Forge, then we actually give away boxes for free. And we've already given 2 away to the community already, and they're awesome. Especially if you like Japanese snacks, or you're curious to try Japanese snacks, but you don't want to like pay the money to go travel to Japan. It's actually like legitimate snacks that Japanese people eat. It's not just Pocky and Kit Kats, though they are there and they're delicious. It's actual sweets and treats that Japanese people eat, which is cool. So check them out, and again, make sure to mention that Forge sent you, because that's how we get the referral for that. Anything else, Kyle? I can't think of anything else.
that is it. Why don't we go ahead and close things down in prayer, and yeah, we'll go ahead and log off after that. But with it being Easter, the Easter season and everything, it's very important to pray, particularly for the soul of Pope Francis as the church waits for a new pope. But let's go ahead and close in prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Jesus, my Savior and Redeemer, Son of the living God, behold, we kneel before you and offer you our reparation. We would make amends for all the blasphemies uttered against your holy name, for all the injuries done to you in the Blessed Sacrament, for all the irreverence shown towards your Immaculate Virgin Mother, for all the slanders spoken against your spouse, the Holy Catholic Church. O Jesus, who has said, if you ask the Father anything in my name, he will give it to you. We pray and beseech you for all our brethren who are in danger of sin. Shield them from every temptation to fall away from the true faith. Save those who are even now standing on the brink of the abyss. To all of them, give light and knowledge of the truth, courage and strength for the conflict with evil, perseverance in faith and active charity. For this do we pray, most merciful Jesus, in your name, unto God the Father, with whom you live and reign in the unity of the Holy Spirit, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you all. I'm praying for you. Make sure you pray for me and all of us here, and pray for each other. We will see you all, well, at least for Max and Cole, will see you on Sunday for some Cold Forge Great Max and some more Final Fantasy this upcoming week. God bless you all. Have a happy Easter, and we will see you later. May Lamnia guide you.